Powered by the Metro Detroit Compassion Club. From the Iron Lab studio, the Political Twist-Up Show is on the air. The show starts after this.
Well, this formula is specifically to grow cannabis.
That's Ray Kogo for Kogo's original cannabis formula nutrients.
Now, everybody knows that large buds and tight buds come from genetics, and then the amount of light you use. The other part is having the correct nutrients that the plant's going to use. Mine specifically to grow cannabis, so it's going to get everything that it needs.
Ray knows what you may not. Those nutrient companies you can get in most grow shops are not cannabis specific. That means they take the stuff out of the bloom that your plant needs in bloom. You can get Kogo's original cannabis formula nutrients too. It's just 2 1-gallon jugs that make over 600 gallons of nutrients, all for less than $100. See the difference for yourself.
More trichomes, bigger buds, faster growth, and for less money.
Go to cannabisformula.com or call Ray direct at 517-375-8998. That's 517-375-8998. Kogo's original cannabis formula nutrients. The law offices of Targowski and Grow remind you to stand up for your rights. Always treat law enforcement with respect, but if you're detained or arrested, stand up for your rights by repeating, I respectfully invoke all of my legal and constitutional rights. I do not consent to any search or seizure. I want to remain silent, and I want to talk to my attorneys, John Targowski and Daniel Grow. Targowski and Grow have the education and experience you need to be successful in Michigan courts. Call Targowski and Grow toll-free, 800-957-1069. The law offices of Targowski and Grow, 800-957-1069. Hey, Steve Green here for the medical marijuana certifications at AMMP. They're the American Medical Marijuana Professionals. You'll find them just north of Utica Road on Gratiot in Roseville. Their address is 28349. Now, call-ins are welcome, but you're better off calling for an appointment. They have a toll-free number, 877-RX-420-99. That's 877-RX-420-99 for American Medical Marijuana Professionals. That's AMMP on Gratiot in Roseville.
It's called, what is your group? It's
Smart
called
Alternatives.
Smart Alternatives, but I'm sorry, I don't think they're smart. And when I read you said marijuana destroys the brain and expedites psychosis. I mean, it sounds like you've been hanging around with Nancy Reagan in 1983.
Yeah. Well, you know, I used to have your position, Bill. I used to think marijuana was no big deal. Everyone in my family had cancer, so I wouldn't begrudge them using marijuana to mitigate the effects of chemotherapy. But then I learned about the truth of this. And I learned about the fact that if you give a permissive environment, you're going to have more kids use.
Oh, come on.
And, well, here's...
Man, come on, man.
Okay, so let me ask you a question.
This is like global warming denying. This is the kind of stuff we heard years and years ago.
Well, we learned with the tobacco companies, Bill, that they targeted kids, right?
Yeah.
Yeah. So what makes us think that the new tobacco companies, those that are going to have a commercial interest in a profit from marijuana, aren't going to want to get new customers?
But your reasoning is adults shouldn't do things because kids might. Adults shouldn't have fire or drive cars under that reasoning too. Kids might do all sorts of bad things. Parents have to stop them, and teachers have to stop them.
Well,
and we made laws that said tobacco companies couldn't target them. I mean, it just seems so un-Kennedy-like to be against what I said a couple of weeks ago was the new gay marriage. It is the next civil rights movement, is to get equality under the law for people who want. I mean, you've had your drug problems, and I'm not telling tales out of school. I mean, you had problems with prescription drugs, Ambien, and I forget the other one that made you drive.
You know, it doesn't matter what drugs you take. If you're taking drugs...
It does matter, because drugs are different.
Okay, so let me just say, on the marijuana thing, I care about your brain. Right? So when the statistics show that moderate use of marijuana reduces your IQ, well, I guess...
I mean, I'm reading from the Institutes of Medicine, which is the branch of the National Academy of Sciences that advises Congress. They've studied this. Psychology Today did an article recently. They said it's less addictive than any other drug we have: cocaine, heroin, alcohol. The studies came out recently that said if you smoke marijuana, you have less risk of lung, neck, or head cancer. It's not linked to lung cancer, liver cancer, or crime, as so many other drugs are.
So I led the effort in Congress for drug courts, because I don't believe people ought to be incarcerated because of an addiction. And I think that's a problem we have. But I also
I
serve on the board of the National Institutes of Drug Abuse. Now, people can go online and check what the NIDA, the NIH-funded research shows. And the NIDA research shows that if you allow this sense of there's no harm in using it, more people will use. That's a fact. If you reduce the cost, which will be the case, more people will use. These are the statistics, Bill. I don't want to put out something that you can contest. The bottom line is, all I want is the people to know the truth.
But you want marijuana users to go into rehab. You want to overload a system where there are people who really...
True, Bill.
Well, that's what I've read.
No. Okay.
You don't want that. So
I just want, first of all, I want, so that we can have an honest discussion about this, I want the facts out. So I want the public to know what the truth is about this. And I think if they knew the facts, and we don't have time tonight to go through all the facts, I think they'd be alarmed.
Tell me the facts.
Okay, the facts are, if you legalize, there's going to be greater use. That's a fact. Public health indicators tell us that. So,
okay, but you still haven't proved to me why that's a bad thing.
The bad thing, okay. Well, if we care...
I would agree with you, children should not do it.
Okay, so that's the bottom line. So more kids will use, and the bottom line is we know with the developing brain, if kids think there's no big deal with this thing and more of them use, it's going to impact their developing brain. The bottom line is if we care about kids' healthy development, why do we want to add a new drug? Like, I mean, the point is that...
It's hardly a new drug.
Well, you know what I'm saying.
But, you know,
a new legalized drug that has commercial power to market. That's my problem.
Here's what I worry about. Bain Capital, we all know that, Mitt Romney's old group, in 2006 spent $723 million to buy a group called CRC Health Group. They open rehab clinics. It's money. The more people we put into rehab for reasons that they don't belong there, the more money for people. I assume these people smell money there for a reason. It's the same reason we have too many people in prison, because we're making customers out of people who should not be customers.
Well, you know what?
And should not be making money for people.
So what I'd
love
you to do a show is talking about the for-profit prison industry, because they're the ones that I know pushing the 3 strikes and you're out stuff.
Right.
Okay, that's where we could deal with the criminalization part of it and not have people sit in jail that are only there because they're suffering from a conviction that they shouldn't be suffering from. But on the public health stuff, don't take my word for it. Talk to Nora Volkow. Invite her on. She's the director of the National Institute of Drug Abuse.
Okay.
And have her speak about it. It's very compelling to me. I didn't make up this position because I wanted to think that I was going to be a good liberal and be against, you know, the legalization of marijuana. That was inconsistent with my original thinking. When I learned more of the facts, I changed my views on this. And I think that if most people saw more of the facts, they might, like you, might change your mind.
All right. Thank you, Patrick Kennedy. I appreciate you coming on. Patrick Kennedy, everybody. Political Two-Step Show. Political Two-Step Show. With the latest information. The Political Two-Step Show. You need to know.
This is the Political Twist-Up Show. PoliticalTwistUp.com if you didn't know. Here to put you in the zone. Dealing with real issues, real relevant on the real radio. Political Twist-Up Show. Political Twist-Up Show. Political Twist-Up Show. You're cooling out with the Political Twist-Up Show. Political Twist-Up Show. It's the Political Twist-Up Show.
Live. It's a beautiful day today across the country at the Great Lakes state of Michigan. Won't you come join us live in Walled Lake? Had the wrong button there. Was turning my own microphone down. It's a little weird.
Sick of hearing yourself already.
What happened there? I'm not sure what happened. I got a loose mic here. What happened there? I got a loose mic thing.
It's that red cord. That's the second one for you.
You know what it is it's the rental stuff.
Ooh, what does he have? Ballasts.
We are live in Walled Lake, powered by the Detroit Compassion Club from the Iron Labs studio. We are at Iron Labs.
I love Iron Labs. Look at these cool jars.
It's the Political Twist-Up Show. And we'll talk to the gang here at Iron Labs here in just a bit.
All right.
In fact, one of the guys is standing over here now. We'll get to him in just a bit. We haven't got much time in this first break. Listen, there's a lot of stuff that was going on this week, and just from a political standpoint, I can't not see the trial happening in Detroit. This trial that happened over the, I call it the First 48 trial because that's what everybody knows it by.
Right.
But it's the Detroit police officer who's been charged with killing a 7-year-old girl, who he admitted at trial he did.
Yes.
He's on trial for manslaughter. Involuntary manslaughter.
Yes.
And
he's a father.
His claim is at trial that the girl's grandmother hid his gun and that the gun went off and killed the girl. And he didn't even know that it went off when it went off. That's what he says.
Yes.
So it's up to the jury now. We'll see what happens with that. But if you want to see that officer's testimony, you can check it out on our YouTube page. If you go to politicaltwistup.com and click on the button for YouTube, and go check out the YouTube video. You can actually watch him testify. That video is courtesy of Channel 7. Channel 7 was out there. They do a great job of streaming some of those trials.
Yes, they do.
That was going on. And then, the Michigan LARA thing. Some stuff happening with LARA today. We'll have to get into that.
Did you get your card?
I did not get my card, but we'll get into that.
I didn't get my card.
You did. I'm sure you didn't get your card either. I know you didn't get your card.
I'm starting to say that like every 5 minutes now until I get it. It's driving me crazy.
We have to talk about LARA. LARA is the Licensing and Regulation Authority here in the state of Michigan for the medical marijuana program. And they have not had their act together for nearly 4 years now in issuing cards in a timely way. And then this week, they just recently made some awful moves. And I had some interaction with somebody out there. And we'll talk about all that in just a bit.
I didn't get my card.
Also, the story of Steve Green. Have you heard? Not me.
I was going to say, I hear Steve Green's story all the time. I talk to him three times a week.
This is the other Steve Green.
There's two of you?
There's not two of me.
Oh, my God.
Luckily, the guy's name's spelled differently. That's the only way you can tell us apart.
All right. So
except for the fact that I do a radio show and he does not.
So we call him Steve Green the Second.
Yeah. Well, Steve Green, too. Okay. So we're going to talk to him. He is in a trial situation right now. He's got an amazing story.
Who did he shoot?
He didn't shoot anybody.
Okay.
But and then there's Bill Maher. Look, did you hear the thing with Bill Maher a minute ago? Are we going to go to Toledo later?
I want to go to Toledo.
It's tonight.
I know. I got nothing better to do.
We're going to talk about Bill Maher. Also, Ask the Gardener with AJ from Advanced Nutrients.
AJ. I love AJ. He's a good guy. He's
I'm
funny.
Steve Green. This is Ryan Bringle. We'll be right back.
Hello.
After the first break with somebody from the people here at Iron Labs. From the Iron Labs studio, it's the Political Twist-Up Show on the Multimedia Digital Network. The Political Twist-Up Show.
Well, this formula is specifically to grow cannabis.
That's Ray Kogo for Kogo's Original Cannabis Formula Nutrients.
Now, everybody knows that large buds and tight buds come from genetics, and then the amount of light you use. The other part is having the correct nutrients that the plant's going to use. Mine specifically to grow cannabis, so it's going to get everything that it needs.
Ray knows what you may not. Those nutrient companies you can get in most grow shops are not cannabis specific. That means they take the stuff out of the bloom that your plant needs in bloom. You can get Kogo's Original Cannabis Formula Nutrients too. It's just 2 1-gallon jugs that make over 600 gallons of nutrients, all for less than $100. See the difference for yourself.
More trichomes, bigger buds, faster growth, and for less money.
Go to cannabisformula.com or call Ray direct at 517-375-8998. That's 517-375-8998. Kogo's Original Cannabis Formula Nutrients. Get everything you need at Hydrovision Indoor Gardening Centers. It's spring, and it's time you get to planting. And whether you're starting plants indoors for the outdoor season or just making your house more green, the technical experts at Hydrovision stores will help you with indoor design and supply so that your indoor gardening dreams always become reality. Mention my name, Steve Green, for a special discount. Hydrovision Indoor Gardening Centers in Howell, Trenton, Richmond, Fenton, and Belleville, one near you, or check out myhydrovision.com.
Hi, Buddy here, inviting you to enjoy huge summer savings at Clio Cultivation. We work closely with the manufacturers of your favorite products to guarantee the lowest prices and highest quality. By getting to know them, we can really understand how to maximize your yield and quality. We can even tell you how our products perform and why they work. If you don't need the knowledge, share your wisdom with us. and enjoy our discounts with at least 15% off everything. Real MSRP. Daily 10 to 7, Saturdays 10 to 5, closed Sundays. Now offering Happy Frog and Ocean Forest for less than $13.95. Raptor 8-inch reflectors $199. Super Red HPS Hortilux lamps $99. 1000 watt switchable ballast $89.95. 8 light T5s $189. And Can Fan 8-inch inline just $99. Your home away from home is at 11394 North Saginaw Road or call 810-686-GROW. At Clio Cultivation, we are only here for you.
If you or someone you know received a traffic ticket, has been charged with a misdemeanor, drinking and driving, criminal offense, or has had their driver's license taken away, they need an attorney. They need attorney Glenn McCandless. He's helped hundreds of people solve their legal problems over the past 16 years.
My law firm is dedicated to providing quality legal services at affordable rates.
Call us at 586-755-2900. Again, that's 586-755-2900. Call now.
At Clio Cultivation, the things that really matter are the best customer service, lowest prices, and a friendlier atmosphere. We share knowledge that will increase your harvest and happiness. Recently, a grower reported double yields in 8 weeks by following our methods of the Garden Sage. We also guarantee the lowest prices on every product every day. When you are here, just smile. Bad days don't exist anymore. Now offering complete 1,000 watt systems for $179, 8 light T5s $189, 16-inch wall mount fans $33.95, Exhale CO2 bags $28, 8-inch Raptors $199, 1,000 watt ballast $89.95, 1,000 watt lamps start at $50, and Happy Frog and Ocean Forest lower than $13.95. Call for details at 810-686-GROW or visit 11394 North Saginaw Road. Weekdays 10 to 7, Saturday 10 to 5. At Clio Cultivation, we know to see it is to believe it.
The Political Twist Up Radio Show.
We are back live in the Iron Lab studio, actually at Iron Labs.
Can't get much more Iron Labs than that.
No. And so we're happy to be out here. We love the fact that you sponsored the studio, and we wanted to talk about lab testing. And with us today on the program, we have a scientist from Iron Labs.
Sweet.
Good afternoon. My name is Joseph Rakowski. I'm the chemist here at Iron Laboratories.
And you know, I think it's really important that we show the people behind what's going on, because when people do testing, they don't always understand, unless they've done their research, unless they've done their homework, what it is that they're getting done. And, you know, what is actually happening behind the scenes? Because they just, you know, they turn the sample in, they pay the fee, they get some results back. Tell us about what those results mean.
Well, all those crime forensic TV shows have spoiled everybody into assuming that analysis happens as this really rapid thing. And, you know, like to do really good, thorough analysis and to quantitate very accurately and precisely, it's really important. You have to prepare several samples. You have to run numerous calibrations and stuff throughout the day. And it's a lot more manual labor involved than what a lot of people would assume.
What's the difference, say, between what you guys do and what other labs might do? You know, there's a lot of differences in lab quality, and you know, my research tells me, and I know for a fact that you guys are the top of your field, because
Absolutely.
you have the scientists in there. You're one of them, and you guys know what you're doing from a technical background, and then also you have specialties. I mean, there are different guys here doing different things.
Yeah.
And I've seen that many lab places don't have those points to them. They have a machine that's kind of questionable with regards to what it does kick out as far as information goes, and then they pass that on as if it's you know, point information. And I think if they did some comparison between those things, they would see that there is a difference. And I was just trying to figure out what that difference was.
Well, yeah, I can't really speak for any of the other testing companies as to like how much they do and what particular methods they're using for testing. But we have developed a very good quality assurance steps that we take throughout the day in order to make sure that the machines are actually running properly, allow us to catch if there is any errors throughout the day, and then also allow us to you know, see the precision and really do good numbers that we can stand behind here at Iron Labs.
Well, that are reproducible, probably.
Yeah, very reproducible. You know, I
because
mean,
you've actually reproduced them in your own testing. You've not done just kind of checked it once, but you've checked it against other measures to make sure that it's accurate.
Yeah, well, we have several different technologies that we have here: HPLC, GC with flame ionization detectors, and a whole lot of different detection methods that we can utilize with our machines.
What kind of time frame are you looking at to do a proper test on a sample?
Well, you see, to do a lot of samples, it doesn't really add a whole lot of time to the day. We typically take about a day to do a single sample, but we can handle several samples in a day.
At
we
one
ask for
time.
2 days, though, just with travel time to the lab. You know, the logistics of getting it across the state is pretty significant.
Depending on where you're at.
Yeah, depending on where you're at, or whether you drop it off at the lab or if it's picked up by one of our...
Let's say somebody comes and drops a sample off with you at the lab here in Walled Lake, Michigan. And how long then? Approximately. Is it a day process? About a day?
Well, I don't want to put my foot in my mouth, but yeah, we usually have those results out by the end of the day if it comes in early enough. Otherwise, you know, it's the next day.
And how do you get those results?
Well, actually, our machines produce very complex chromatograms, and then our analysts go through, and our website sort of just incorporates it, uploads it.
Oh, so it kind of happens automatically after you guys generate the
automatically.
test. You guys don't have to actually publish the test. It's actually being published for you. It kind of scrubs that
we
data
do
off.
have to publish it. That way, our eyes are on it. We do get to examine each, analysis to make sure that there isn't any errors and stuff.
But the transfer of the
it goes-
information
it goes right to the website. The website handles all the like statistics, all the reports, labeling,
the
you
image.
name it. Yeah. So I mean, it's really cool for some of these growers and stuff to be able to just put it up there and not have to do like paper reports or carry a report around with them. They can just direct their patients to the website so they can see the results there.
Well, or how about
nice.
How about right there on your smartphone? So
Yeah, that's
I'm
awesome.
a member of
We
Iron
do
Labs.
have a
so
mobile app, too.
I got the little mobile app, and you open it up there, and you type your username and your password in, and boom, you get all your results right there.
Nothing like having proof in your hand.
That's what it is.
Oh, yeah.
If people want to get involved with Iron Labs, what do they do?
Well, I would suggest go check out our website, ironlabsllc.com.
Or you can click on the ad right on the front page of the website if you're watching the broadcast
right here
now.
on the page.
Nice.
Or you can always feel free to give us a call at 248-757-TEST.
Thank you so much for coming out and sticking your nose out and telling us what's going on, because it's really important, I think, that people know what it is that they're doing and how it happens and why it happens and who they're doing their thing with, because, at least if you're doing it with a lab that's, has a lesser reputation, it has less accurate machinery or less duplication of results, that kind of stuff, you know what you're getting when you buy it.
All labs are not equal, that's for sure. Nobody like Iron Labs.
Well...
You're like the, as far as I'm concerned, you're like the FDA. Your stamp means everything.
You got all red faced on us. He's like, oh shucks.
I believe in what they do, though. I mean, we've been here enough. I believe in what he does, and I think that they're the standard.
Thanks. Go ahead.
I was just gonna say, I'm not gonna toot my own horn, but I went to school and I'm very passionate about doing this. So I think that's what gives
That's
me a
what I
little
mean. The
extra
science
thing,
isn't bad.
like, if I don't know something, I'll go and do the research and find it out for you, because I want to be able to give this information to the patient so that they have it and they can make educated decisions.
See, if I was doing if I was like the ad agency for Iron Labs, I'd be like, the logo I would give you would be, or the brand I would give you would be Iron Labs. The science is inside. I love it.
I like it.
Might be our new motto.
It is. The science is in there. It's like the Prego spaghetti. It's in there.
It's in there.
So I like it. We got to talk to Steve Green. Thank you so much for coming out.
Joseph,
problem.
it was
Anytime.
excellent. Thank you.
Sorry about the thumping. There's something with this cord. We got to talk to Steve Green because Steve, and again, this isn't me. You're already talking to me, but you hear enough from me. I want to get Steve Green on the phone, so I'm calling him now and have him tell you this story because, and I hope we have enough time to squeeze it in. I think we should.
Philip.
Steve.
Hey, how are you doing, dude?
I'm doing well. You hear us okay?
I'm sorry. I just got here.
I think, can you hear us okay?
Yes, I can hear you.
Okay. So thanks for coming on the program, by the way, and thanks for sharing your story with us too, because I think your story is a compelling one, and it's one that people need to understand that this is the kind of thing that's going on inside law enforcement as it pertains to the medical marijuana community. And you've got a great example, or not so great example, depending on your point of view. From your point of view, it's not such a great example of how the current state of affairs is. Can you tell us your story, Steve? Give us a nutshell of what's going on. Kind of give us the bullet points.
Yeah, a quick rundown would be, my wife was my caregiver, and
this was when?
This was 2011.
2011. What
my wife
month?
was my caregiver. At that time, she became my caregiver in 2010.
Okay, and about when? Just like
during 2011, I was still having seizures and starting the oil treatment.
Okay, so you have seizures. Seizures is your medical condition, I'm taking it?
Correct. I have severe epilepsy.
Okay, and these seizures are not small seizures. These are not just little get out of my way for a second kind of things. These are really bad, aren't they?
Yeah, it used to be termed grand mal, and recently they've changed it to tonic-clonic.
Changed it to what?
Tonic-clonic, which you seize, you shake violently, and then your muscles all contract, and you straighten out like a board, sometimes turning blue, can't breathe, etc.
This is dangerous when this happens, right?
Yeah, every time a child or an adult has a seizure, you have brain damage that occurs every time.
So it's important to prevent this kind of stuff. And you've gone through the treatment of regular seizure medications that they have on the market through pharmaceutical companies, and your experience has been what?
I have been through about 10 different anti-epileptic medications. Some of them increased seizures or had such negative, bad side effects I couldn't take them. A few of them, like Keppra, did improve the seizure frequency some, but they never stopped. They were never really under control.
So they never arrested the seizures?
Correct.
So how have you managed? How have you coped? You've used cannabis, I take it, to help that situation?
Yeah, I actually, when I first got diagnosed, that's what I thought. When my doctor gave me the medical card, I thought that's what everyone does is smoke it. So that was my first experience with the medical marijuana like that. And after I would have a seizure, it would tremendously help with the pain and muscle spasms and stuff like that. But I wasn't really seeing a huge reduction in seizures.
Now, when did you start to see a reduction in seizures? Or did you ever see a reduction in seizures using medical cannabis?
Yes, after I started taking it orally as an oil, like in capsules, it's referred to sometimes Rick Simpson oil or cannabis oil. Once I started a regimen like that where I was introducing a larger amount straight to my GI system or whatever, I noticed the difference. And then since September, the end of November 2011, I have not had a seizure.
So it's been over a year?
It's been well over a year.
It's working. The Rick Simpson
and
oil is working.
In 2009, I had 100 grand mal seizures.
Oh my God! I had no idea it was that number. I mean, that's like several. That's like a lot.
Several a month.
Now you had a situation where you had an encounter with police, and now you're in court. Wrap that up for us, real quick. Incidentally, we got about 5 minutes here before we go to break.
Like I said, we were patient caregiver, and my wife had no complaint call or anything, but a neighbor caused a problem, which involved the police coming out to investigate a crime. And during that time, they
let's tell that story a little bit, because I think it's kind of important. You were not living in the trailer, but your wife had rented a trailer, or you guys had rented a trailer so that she could grow there for you, but you weren't living there.
Correct.
And there was another nearby trailer associated that was also growing, and that somebody broke into?
Yeah, the trailer directly behind that one, the gentleman that lived there was a patient or a caregiver, and he grew, and he had a daughter. This neighbor guy moves in all of a sudden. He starts dating the daughter, something like that.
Oh, we lost Steve. Oh no. So let's see if we can get him back. It'll just take a second.
This sounds like a mistaken identity.
Yeah. Well, no, I think what happened was, if I'm not mistaken, that somebody broke into the trailer, emptied the contents of that neighboring trailer. Are you there, Steve?
Yes, I got you.
Sorry, we lost you. So somebody breaks into this neighbor. The guy behind you is growing. You don't know this guy. You've never met this guy, or did you know him at all, or?
We waved, something like that, but no.
Okay, so you didn't really know him. He was just your neighbor, and you knew who he was, and you could identify him as your neighbor, but that's about it.
Right, I knew him as from Maria's area, yeah.
Okay, so then now this is in Oakland County, in the Auburn Hills area.
Auburn Hills Trailer Park.
Okay, and so now a situation occurs at this guy's house where somebody robs his house. They break in while he's not there, take all the contents of the trailer, and do what with it?
Yeah, well, he's pled guilty already, so I don't mind saying.
Oh.
His name is Billy Rosenkrantz. He pled guilty to second-degree home invasion. And what he did is he robbed this guy, and as he exited the house and took the stolen stuff to his mom's trailer, he hid things along the way, and then the police also state they follow a trail of marijuana leaves.
And the trail leads to how did you get wrapped up in this?
He's like a squirrel.
Well, the trail leads towards the shed of her trailer.
Okay, so the shed of the trailer that you guys your wife was growing in for you had a trail that was near from the guy that had robbed the neighbor's house.
It was directly next to each other.
Long and the short of it, police get a warrant. They come in, and you're not there, she's not there. They come in, they see there's a grow operation going on there, and somehow they tie you guys together and decide to charge you for cultivation.
Well, at the time, I was still having seizures, so I carried 2 wallets, and in my wallet I had information, prescription information, all kinds of stuff. But I carried 2 wallets. So there was 1 wallet with her stuff at that house, and they just made the assumption that if there's a wallet there, that you have possession of that stuff as well. So we were implicated. We got home. She got home, found that search warrant, and called the police and told them, look, these are my plants. Here's my license. I have all the paperwork.
All right. Hey, hold Steve, hang on for a second. We got to go to break. We'll be right back. Join us when we come back with the rest of the Steve Green story on the Political Twist Up Show. It's the Multimedia Digital Network. Stand by. Get everything you need at Hydrovision Indoor Gardening Centers. It's spring, and it's time you get to planting. And whether you're starting plants indoors for the outdoor season or just making your house more green, the technical experts at Hydrovision stores will help you with indoor design and supply so that your indoor gardening dreams always become reality. Mention my name, Steve Green, for a special discount. Hydrovision Indoor Gardening Centers in Howell, Trenton, Richmond, Benton, and Belleville, one near you, or check out myhydrovision.com. Hey, Steve Green here for the medical marijuana certifications at AMMP. They're the American Medical Marijuana Professionals. You'll find them just north of Utica Road on Gratiot in Roseville. Their address is 28349. Now, call-ins are welcome, but you're better off calling for an appointment. They have a toll-free number, 877-RX-420-99. That's 877-RX-420-99 for American Medical Marijuana Professionals. That's AMMP on Gratiot in Roseville.
Well, this formula is specifically to grow cannabis.
That's Ray Kogo for Kogo's Original Cannabis Formula Nutrients.
Now, everybody knows that large buds and tight buds come from genetics, and then the amount of light you use. The other part is having the correct nutrients that the plant's going to use. Mine specifically to grow cannabis, so it's going to get everything that it needs.
Ray knows what you may not. Those nutrient companies you can get in most grow shops are not cannabis specific. That means they take the stuff out of the bloom that your plant needs in bloom. You can get Kogo's Original Cannabis Formula Nutrients too. It's just 2 1-gallon jugs that make over 600 gallons of nutrients, all for less than $100. See the difference for yourself.
More trichomes, bigger buds, faster growth, and for less money.
Go to cannabisformula.com or call Ray Direct at 517-375-8998. That's 517-375-8998. Kogo's original cannabis formula nutrients. Are you a business that Michigan medical marijuana patients would be interested in? Here's an opportunity to list in the Michigan Medical Marijuana Business Directory for free. People from all over Michigan come to the Michigan Medical Marijuana Business Directory to find goods and services at local establishments. List yours for free by going to mmma.biz and click on Add Business. You can even choose to add features to your listing that add additional benefits. Grow your business. List it for free at mmma.biz. That's mmma.biz.
At Clio Cultivation, the things that really matter are the best customer service, lowest prices, and a friendlier atmosphere. We share knowledge that will increase your harvest and happiness. Recently, a grower reported double yields in 8 weeks by following our methods of the Garden Sage. We also guarantee the lowest prices on every product every day. When you are here, just smile. Bad days don't exist anymore. Now offering complete 1,000 watt systems for $179, 8 light T5s $189, 16-inch wall mount fans $33.95, Exhale CO2 bags $28, 8-inch Raptors $199, 1,000 watt ballast $89.95, 1,000 watt lamps start at $50, and Happy Frog and Ocean Forest lower than $13.95. Call for details at 810-686-GROW or visit 11394 North Saginaw Road. Weekdays 10 to 7, Saturday 10 to 5. At Clio Cultivation, we know to see it is to believe it.
The Political Twist Up Radio Show.
Live from the Iron Labs studios at Iron Labs, we're back on the Political Twist Up Show. We've been talking to Steve Green. Steve is a medical marijuana patient. Happens to have terrible seizures from epilepsy. Life-threatening seizures, I would even go to say.
He said 100 in a year.
In 2009. So, Steve, we want you to tell us some more. Tell us, gotta figure out how to turn this down. What happened here? There we go. So tell us, Steve, how we, let us follow what happened legally. They ended up charging you and your wife eventually. Now, they didn't do this at first. They put this off, right?
I'm sorry, I missed you there.
I say they didn't charge you guys right away. There was some delay between the time that they actually had the encounter that you weren't present for and then actually you getting charged. Tell us about that real quick.
Absolutely, that seems to be the norm. But with us, afterwards, like I said, my wife called to clear it up, and they said we're not going to pursue charges at this time. And the attorney said just continue on unless you want to sue them. We figured water under the bridge, moved on. And in January, I was stopped riding in a vehicle for loud exhaust and found out I had a warrant, was taken to jail for the night.
Of course, it was for the weekend, wasn't it?
I was able to bond out Saturday.
Oh, wow, you're a lucky guy.
You got connections.
No, I feel bad now that I said he's lucky.
Yeah, not lucky, just connected.
So, now... This gets worse, doesn't it?
That sounds pretty bad.
It does.
You're in the Oakland County court system now, and now you're at the circuit court level. Is that what's going on?
Correct.
Okay, and so you're currently under trial. Are you at trial now? Or are you about to go to trial, or where are you at?
Well, we had trial scheduled for July 15th, and now it appears that that's going to be pushed back again.
And who's your judge out there?
Leo Bowman.
I'm sorry, one more time?
Leo Bowman.
Oh, Leo Bowman. Okay. And
he's been there a minute.
Yeah, he has been there for a while. Now, tell us how this gets worse. I mean, they had set your bond up because when you're at trial, unless they want to keep you in jail, they set up a bond, and a lot of times it's a PR bond. In this case, they gave you what?
It was $500 was my 10%.
So they gave you a 10% cash surety bond. It sounds like $5,000 was your bond or something.
Correct.
And so you paid the $500, and they set your bond conditions that allowed you to use your cannabis oil to prevent your seizures, didn't they?
Correct.
And then what happened?
That continued for 5 months, with no problems or issues. And then the court called a hearing to do a bond review, and the judge decided that he should add a condition of no marijuana or THC of any kind. And we had a doctor present to testify, and other witnesses and affidavits that were all completely ignored.
As an innocent bystander, I mean, without doing anything overt, covert, illegal or otherwise, well, aside from the fact that, growing is illegal aside from your protection, they ignored your protection against arrest and prosecution completely, didn't they?
Yes.
I mean, you guys were, your wife was a caregiver for yourself and what, 2 other people?
2 other patients, yeah.
And she wasn't over her count. She wasn't over her weight. They didn't find her anything, because if they had found something wrong, they'd have taken them down that night, right?
Correct.
And they didn't bug you with that stuff.
No.
And
in fact, like I said, the next day she called them to come back and get the plants that were originally stolen from our neighbor. Were still outside in between the suspect's trailer and shed.
So the police actually left the pot plants outside
overnight
for kids to get.
That's just nice. But somehow,
so Maria called and said, you really need to come get these. We were on the way to Crittenton Hospital to get my daughter's tonsils out.
And you've got several kids, don't you?
Yeah, we have 5.
Who was the agency? What's the police agency?
Oakland County Sheriff. Or no, I think.
No, it was Auburn Hills Police.
Ah. So now you're.
Like I said, there's no doubt it was a mistake, but they told me at my arraignment we don't dismiss marijuana charges.
Oh, because it's a pot charge, they're not going to dismiss it no matter what the circumstances.
He's a card holder. They broke no rules.
Now they're actually denying you the medication that keeps you from such great danger.
Absolutely.
And there's just no answer for that. I think there needs to be, there's got to be some way we can, at the state level or at the state and federal level, find a way to get around this in situations like this. Because I think, given some testimony about this, I don't think that should or would be a violation of a condition of bond. They wouldn't tell you can't have your other medication that keeps you alive. They wouldn't stop your heart medicine. They wouldn't stop your.
If it comes from Pfizer, you're okay.
Well, there's 2 conditions that they would change your bond. One is if you were a flight risk, which the judge said at my last court date, I'm absolutely not concerned that you're a flight risk. And the other issue would be for public safety. I do not drive. I have not driven since 2006. So driving under the influence, which would be the only suspected danger, is not anything I would do.
Because you've demonstrated they haven't done it for several years.
Correct.
There's a huge legal expense that comes involved with this. This can't be cheap to defend yourself against these ruffians, these jackasses, if I may say, because that's what this is. It's jackassery. It's also, in my opinion, I think this is policing for profit, clearly.
Harassment.
And it's just about taking an adamant stance regardless of circumstance. And this is the kind of situation that this community fights on a regular basis, and this is why partly that I do these kinds of topics on the show, because somebody's got to do something.
The police don't make mistakes, and once they started the ball rolling, they weren't going to stop.
How can people get involved and help your legal cause? Because I know it can't be cheap.
Well, after we had this experience, we realized we weren't alone. It's happening so much to so many people. So we started the Michigan chapter of the Human Solution at www.dhs-mi.org.
Is this a branch off of One Human Solution?
Yes.
Okay. And that's another situation about another case out in another state.
Correct.
Okay. Go ahead, Steve. I'm sorry.
So we started the Michigan chapter because, realizing we weren't the only ones, somebody had to do something. So we're at least trying. And we've been organizing for court supports and things like that. I've had 20 to 40 people at every court date. So it's been very supportive by the community. And we also have a GoFund link on the site.
What's the site? How can you tell us what the site?
that?
Tell us what the site is.
It's GoFundMe.com, Green Family Defense Fund.
So it's GoFundMe.com/Green Family Defense Fund.
Yes.
Okay, please go there and donate to Steve if you've got some extra cash. Donate to Steve and his family so that they can defend themselves against these horrible charges. I frankly think that if this ever finishes at trial, if this ever goes to the jury or the judge or whatever they got going on there, that this, well, it's got to be, you having a jury trial, right?
Yeah, we are prepared to go all the way to a jury trial.
So I think they're going to throw it out, Steve. Honestly, I don't see a jury convicting you of anything. You've done not a damn thing wrong, my friend.
But the expense is unbelievable.
Yeah.
One of the things I want to mention about
really quickly, because we got a couple things we got to do before we go off the air, and we got to get to them yet. So please go ahead. No, quickly.
I was just going to say I'm off all pharmaceuticals, and there isn't an equivalent approved by the FDA in the United States that contains a 50-50 CBD-THC split. It's the only medication I have a choice to use.
So maybe if they had some Sativex available, which is a spray brand of tincture, it's basically a 50-50.
I don't recommend it, but I would use it in this predicament.
Right, but they don't. But it's not approved here yet. Can you get on a trial for it? Would they let you get on a trial for it?
No, actually, he made the specification that he could remove any pharmaceutical narcotic medication as well.
Really? It's just why doesn't he just take you out and hang you directly, Steve? I mean, I don't understand what this judge's goal is. Is it truth, justice, and the American way? Is it the blind lady, or what is it? Steve, thanks for coming on. We got to go to break. We'll be right back with more. This is the Political Twist-Up Show on the Multimedia Digital Network. Stand by for AJ from Advanced Nutrients for our Ask the Gardener segment. It's next.
Thank you, guys.
Political Twist-Up Show.
At Clio Cultivation, the things that really matter are the best customer service, lowest prices, and a friendlier atmosphere. We share knowledge that will increase your harvest and happiness. Recently, a grower reported double yields in 8 weeks by following our methods of the Garden Sage. We also guarantee the lowest prices on every product every day. When you are here, just smile. Bad days don't exist anymore. Now offering complete 1,000-watt systems for $179, 8-light T5s $189, 16-inch wall mount fans $33.95, Exhale CO2 bags $28, 8-inch Raptors $199, 1,000-watt ballast $89.95, 1,000-watt lamps start at and Happy Frog and Ocean Forest lower than $13.95. Call for details at 810-686-GROW or visit 11394 North Saginaw Road. Weekdays 10 to 7, Saturday 10 to 5. At Clio Cultivation, we know to see it is to believe it.
Get everything you need at Hydrovision Indoor Gardening Centers. It's spring, and it's time you get to planting. And whether you're starting plants indoors for the outdoor season or just making your house more green, the technical experts at Hydrovision stores will help you with indoor design and supply so that your indoor gardening dreams always become reality. Mention my name, Steve Green, for a special discount. Hydrovision Indoor Gardening Centers in Howell, Trenton, Richmond, Benton, and Belleville, one near you, or check out myhydrovision.com. The Political Twist-Up Radio Show.
You can hear the Political Twist-Up Show every Saturday from 3 until 4 on politicaltwistup.com and also at our broadcast partners in Flint and Grand Rapids at WFNT and WTKG, respectively. We love to come to your city and to your event. If you want to do that, give me a call sometime, 810-423-2350. We are now at the segment where we do Ask the Gardener. We have with us on the phone LJ from Advanced Nutrients. LJ, hello, are you there? Can you hear? There you are. So, LJ, we got you online. Hang on a second. I got to plug in the other phone because we've got another
Mike on the line. How you doing, LJ?
So, Mike, are you there?
Yeah, hello?
Hello, Mike. Okay, so there's going to be a little bit of a delay pause between you guys. You guys might have to give each other some space, but I know you can hear each other. Go ahead and ask your question to LJ from Advanced Nutrients. It's our Ask the Gardener segment.
Well,
was going to ask him what the importance of the different strains is.
The importance of the different strains. Can you tell us about strain, LJ, and how important that is to what you're trying to end up with in the end?
Oh, genetics? Genetics are probably the most important building block in my world. I mean, you got to start with proper genetics, otherwise you don't know where the failure point is, you know what I mean?
Right. And so what's your specific question, Mike?
Like, Rare Dankness has incredible genetics, if you guys are looking for seeds. Sorry, you're breaking up a lot, Steve. I'm having a hard time fielding some of this.
That's okay. I'm asking Mike to tell us more specifically what he's trying to ask.
Is there some that are done earlier indoors as far as the time frames?
He wants to know if you could hear him, he wants to know if there are different varieties that have an earlier finish and a later finish.
Oh, absolutely. No, all kinds of stuff. Like Green Crack's known for finishing in 7 weeks, and I mean, it's incredibly fast. If you add products like Bud Blood, you can even shave more time off. It's just super fast.
And then, there's some like 13, 14, 15-week varieties, aren't there?
Absolutely. I was looking at that Thai stick like my dad used to smoke, and
the old Thai
takes
stick.
about 15 weeks.
Nice.
If
I
you
wouldn't
order
mind
seeds
that.
of it. There's everything in between. There's so many different strains to choose from now. I mean, there's fast ones, like White Rhino, heavy, gigantic yielding ones, just all kinds of different stuff. But yeah, Sour Grape's another one that finishes incredibly fast.
The ones that finish quick versus the ones that finish long, what's the difference?
It depends on sativas. Usually take a little more time. It just depends.
So
strain by strain, what it was crossed with, stuff like that. Sour diesels take a long time to develop, just a long time to finish their budding cycle. It's really kind of exclusive to each genetic, you know what I mean?
Indica-leaning varieties seem to have a quicker finish, it seems.
Yeah, Sour Grape and Green Crack are the two that come to mind right off the top of my head, and they're great. I mean, if you're using Bud Blood and stuff like that, you can get into 7, 8 flips a year.
Wow. Sour grapes and Green Crack, that's your answer, Mike?
Yeah,
that sounds good. All right.
Mike, are you getting some that are done a little sooner?
Well, I'm usually averaging 7 to 8.
7 to 8. All right. Well, there you go, Mike. I hope we answered your question.
Yeah, thanks.
All right. Thank you, brother. We're going to move on to, we'll have to give the next guy a call here. Who we got here stacked up on the phones?
I think we're going to go with Kevin, who's coming up next.
So, LJ, tell us about the Bud Blood. You said adding carbs with the Bud Blood. What does that do? Tell us about that.
The Bud Blood, it basically introduces a hormone that kicks the plant right in the flower. If you look at all the feeding charts in the world, you're going to see that they go like veg, 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 then a week of transition, then bloom, bloom, bloom. Well, if we could introduce a hormone that would kickstart that transition period and turn it into a productive flowering time, you actually finish a lot faster with the plant. I mean, I usually pick up 5-6 days off using Bud Blood, meaning that I'll have a 9-week OG that will finish in 8 weeks, 2 days. Amber trichome's done, you know?
All right, so we have another guy on the line. Here's Kevin. Hang on one second, Kevin, while I plug you in. Oh, jeez. I almost fell over. Incidentally, here's something really funny. You don't want to do this. I got enough time. Okay, so I'm a grower, right? I'm a caregiver. And I'm doing I do the hydro. And I've got one in dirt just by itself. And I'm getting ready to change the light, turn the lights off for the night, and I'm just doing a check through the room before everything goes out. And I checked that pot. I'm like, I haven't checked it in a little while. I better check it. So I check. It's dry. And I'm thinking, oh God, I better water it, feed it before I go to put it to bed. So I turn to the bucket that's got, the tank that's got the solution in it, and I dip a cup full of, like a big glass
bit of juice
full out of there. And mind you, I just woken up, and it's morning, and I spun around to go splash it in the pot, which is a few feet away. And when I leaned forward to splash it in the pot, guess what poked me directly in the eye? It was one of those bamboo sticks that was holding a plant up. I mean, I jammed my eye directly into the middle of the stick. Don't ever do that.
You would have been a growing pirate.
I feel like a pirate now. Yeah. I thought I had jellied my eye. I thought I was holding it in my hand. I literally did. If I wasn't wearing a contact lens, I would have severely damaged my cornea, I'll tell you.
Bait.
Don't poke yourself in the eye.
I myself in the grow room on the regular too. Don't worry about it.
Yeah, but did you nearly end it? Never mind. So, Kevin, are you there? Can you hear us, Kevin?
Yeah. No, the audio was a little bad. I can't hear it too good.
Okay, Kevin. Can you ask LJ from Advanced Nutrients, our Ask the Gardener segment? You got a question for him?
Yeah, LJ, you guys were just talking about the finishing of different strains and whatnot, and I was wondering how do you know when it's finished? Because my caregiver, we're having a debate right now regarding the candy caning of the oils at the end, and I was always told that once those little hooks start forming on the end, that's the best time to do it.
You're talking about trichomes, right?
You know, I always go by amber trichomes personally. I always wait for the trichomes to mature, and if I have like 25-30% amber, that's good enough time for me. Different sativas and indicas I know have like a shorter window, so you want to like really be on top of that. But yeah, I usually just look for the trichome maturation myself. And I also go off what the genetic, like what the manufacturer tells me. You know, if they say it's a 9-week genetic, a lot of times I'll just drop it 9 based on their word.
There you go. So candy caning is good, he says. About 30% amber trichromes.
Yeah, you're waiting for them to go from clear to milky to amber. They'll actually turn like kind of a golden hue at the end. You need a jeweler's loupe to see it though, really clearly. You know what I mean?
Yep, you gotta have the magnifier.
It looks like shatter.
Yeah,
little dabs.
It does it does look like shatter. So there you go. Does that answer your question, Kevin?
Yes, thanks a lot. I appreciate it. We'll keep an eye on them.
Thank you, brother.
Thank you.
Enjoy.
Hey, thank you so much, guys. I apologize if I missed anything. You guys are breaking up a little bit, having a hard time hearing everything.
That's okay. That's all right. You're doing fine here, LJ. We got another person to bring on the line here. We have to do these one at a time when we're out on remote like this because we don't have the advantage of being in the in studio. So while we're in the remote studio, we gotta call them back and put them on. It's a better way, anyways. So now. With Advanced Nutrient, we're going to have to get some samples of the Advanced Nutrients so that we can show people what they're about and what, kind of give some people some representation who are unfamiliar with the product. Advanced Nutrients has a whole product line, yes? You've got different levels, different stages for different people, advanced, beginner.
We kind of have something for everybody. Yeah, we've got the hobbyist bundles and moving on up to the Grand Master program. But we've also, you can mix and match a lot of different pieces of our program. I mean, a lot of people say, like, why do you guys have so much product on the shelf? There's a lot of different types of growers who do a lot of different things, and we try to cater to them all.
Well, and I guess what would be people's most common question? What's the most common question you get from from people asking you?
Oh, gosh. It's such a range, dude, because, again, we have so many different products. Just different things are meaningful to different people.
You don't have a duck. You don't have a duck.
But everybody kind of knows that works good. It's more compliments than questions, really, I guess. And
people call up to just compliment.
Asked about that a lot.
People call up to just compliment.
I'm sorry.
People call up to just compliment.
Yeah, I get a lot of compliments on the Big Bud. Yeah, it just is one of those products like Roots Excel from House and Garden. It just works exactly as it should. You know what I mean?
I started with Advanced Nutrients, and it's a very simple product to use because most of it uses the same exact measurements. You just
yeah.
And you guys have a pH perfect product now, yes?
Oh, it's incredible. It's changed my life, man. I hate all those pens and the 94 solutions you need for them, storage, cleaning. This one, that one. Yeah, pH Perfect is awesome. You guys gotta check it out.
We're gonna got a real quick question. We're going to try and sneak in a real quick question from Melissa. Melissa, are you there?
I am here.
Real quick question for AJ from Advanced. LJ from Advanced.
Oh, hi. I was actually wondering if by any chance you could tell me if you see Michigan moving forward in the future with medical marijuana.
Oh boy, it's not exactly a gardening question, but I'll tell you what, we didn't have really time for it anyways. I do apologize. Look, we got to run, LJ. We'll catch you next week.
Okay.
LJ, I think we lost. Yeah, we'll catch you next week, brother. We got to run. Well, all right, there we go. I think it's these guys have a hard time hearing on these phones sometimes. We'll see you next week on the Political Twist Up Show. I'm not sure exactly where we'll be at, but we'll be live.
Cedar Point.
That's right, Cedar Point.
Multimedia Digital Network.